Honorable members, right honorable.
Prayer.
Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of leaders and parliament for the welfare of the society, good of all human lives upon it and the just government of its people, we beseech you to look with your abundant favor upon us, your servants, whom you have entrusted with the performance of such important trust in this community. Let your blessing descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we may trust, we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our attention and deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this region and of those whose interest you have committed to us. Amen.
Order 1, communication from the chair.
Honorable colleagues, good afternoon. Once again, I seize this opportunity to welcome you back to Uganda, the Peel of Africa. Since our last sitting here in October last year, I also extend my greetings and gratitude to His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, for his exemplary leadership, and to the people of Uganda for their warm hospitality since our arrival. I also wish to thank our gracious host, the Right Honorable Anita Among, Speaker of the Parliament of Uganda, as well as the members and the staff of the Parliament of Uganda for their warm reception and facilitation, which has ensured the smooth start of our business. I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate His Excellency President Samia Hassan Suluhu on her re-election as President of the United Republic of Tanzania in the recent general elections. We extend our congratulations to our former colleagues at Eala, the Honorable Ngwaru Magembe and John James Milia, on their elections as members of Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania. And they have been appointed as deputy ministers. We also congratulate the Right Honorable Musa Azan Nzungu on his election as the 9th Speaker of the Parliament of the United Republic of Tanzania. We also congratulate Burundi speakers, the Speaker of Burundi National Assembly, the Right Honorable Gelaz Nabirabe, and the Speaker of the Senate, the Right Honorable Gervendera Kobucha, who have been elected as speakers in June's elections. For Uganda, we have our colleagues who are campaigning, Honorable Namara Dennis, Honorable James Kakoza, and Honorable Ako Rose. We wish the best to them. Honorable members, the approved program for this meeting and the business to be transacted have been circulated to all of us. I therefore urge all committees to finalize their respective agenda and report to the plenary in accordance with the program. Preparations for the 15th Interparliamentary Games are progressing well. Members are reminded to be available for the training sessions in preparation for the event. Honorable colleagues, some honorable members approached me and raised a matter of payments. I request the commissioners and the chair of committees to meet tomorrow at 12 a.m. so that we can consider their issue. For outreach activities, a capacity building activity on agroecology hosted by Agroecology Learning Center will take place on 28th November 2025, Friday. Members are scheduled to depart from their hotels at 8 a.m. in the morning. A tour of Kapeka Industrial Park in Nakaseke district is planned for Monday, 1st December 2025. Depart at 7:30 a.m. Breakfast will be taken there at 9:30. The visit to the Inspectorate of Government Officer, that visit has been withdrawn. Honorable members, we had the 20th meeting of Bureau Speakers on 14th November 2025 in Kampala. That meeting was following the meeting of clerks that had taken place from 12th to 13th November 2025. The outcomes were that the next games will take place in Somalia. Meaning that Somalia has taken the chair of the Speaker's Bureau. Honorable members, I attended the 151st Assembly of the IPU, accompanied by Honorable Abdullah Makame, representing the members, and Joy, the Assistant Clerk Joy, representing the clerks, and Priscilla representing the secretaries to assist me. We were 3 people. Honorable members, I have a sad note for you. Some days ago, our own clerk, Mr. Alex Obatre, lost his young brother and aunt on the same day, 14th November 2025. May her soul rest in eternal peace. This is my communication for today. I have also a communication from me, because we have guests. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have a delegation of law students and the lecturers from Faculty of Law, Kabale University, which is located in Kabale district in the western part of Uganda. They have come to observe the proceedings of the sittings this afternoon. Please join me in welcoming them. We have more guests. We also have AG Executive Secretary of the Inter-University Council for East Africa, Professor Idris. We also have Professor Michael Mawa, Principal Quality Assurance and Qualifications Framework Officer. These are our guests today.
We proceed to item 2 on the order paper, procedural motion, by way of motion.
There is a motion there.
Right Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I would like to take this opportunity to commend the Right Honorable Speaker for the communication that he has given to this House, and being a member of Parliament representing Uganda in the East African Legislative Assembly, I would like also to take this great opportunity to overwhelmingly welcome you to the Pearl of Africa, the Republic Uganda. Karibu sana. Right Honorable Speaker, from your communication, I have thought it right to move a motion under Rule 30 of this House. You started by congratulating the newly elected leaders of this region, of the East African region. And recently, one of the great countries within the EAC community held elections, and a member of the council of the EAC was re-elected to that particular office. I would therefore like to move a motion, Right Honorable Speaker, that this House officially, following your communication, congratulates Her Excellency
we have
Suluhu.
Honorable Jacqueline, as the procedure is there, we have to give him the floor.
convene plenary business, it is procedural that we invoke the procedure to be here in Kampala. So before we start any other, even dealing with a motion, we have to justify our existence here in Kampala and not any other city or town in the East Africa through the procedure of the House. I beg to move.
You are right. Let's proceed. You'll bring the motion later.
We proceed to item 2, procedural motion by way of motion.
Chair, Committee on Legal.
Thank you very much,
Rules
Mr. Speaker.
And the privilege, move the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm standing here on behalf of the chairperson of the Legal Rules and Privileges Committee to move a motion for a resolution of the Assembly to hold sittings in the Republic of Uganda. I beg to move.
Seconders, the entire House. You can proceed.
Speaker, Mr. Speaker, whereas Article 55(1) of the treaty provides that meetings of the Assembly shall be held at such times and places as the Assembly may appoint. And whereas Rule 2 of the Rules of Procedure provides that the seat of the Assembly shall be at Arusha in the United Republic of Tanzania. And whereas Rule 10, Sub-Rule 5 of the Rules of Procedures of the House provide that the meetings of the Assembly shall be held at such times and places as the Assembly may appoint, and shall meet at least once in every year at Arusha in the United Republic of Tanzania, and at a time to be determined by the Assembly. Now, therefore, this Assembly do resolve as follows: that pursuant to the provisions of Rule 10, Sub-Rule 5, cited above, the Assembly shall hold sittings in Kampala, in the Chamber of the Parliament of Uganda, from today, Wednesday, 26 November, up to Friday, 5th December, 2025. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Justification, because the motion is self-explanatory. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, the motion on the floor is that this House do resolve to hold sittings in Kampala in the Republic of Uganda. Debate is open. Honorable members, since that's what I'm doing, I now put the question, honorable members, since this procedural motion, I now put the question that this House do resolve to hold its sittings in Kampala in the Republic of Uganda. Those in favor say aye. To the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Yes, Honorable Jacqueline Amongin.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. I would like to move a motion arising from the communication that has been put in place by the Speaker for this House, a Legislative Assembly of the East African Community, to formally congratulate Her Excellency Suluhu, the President of the Republic of Tanzania, of the United Republic of Tanzania, Her Excellency Mama Suluhu. I am not able to pronounce the other name very well, but you know our president. And this motion, Right Honorable Speaker, I would have loved that the fact that Mama Suluhu has been an inspiration to the young women in the world, being among the first African women to assume the office of presidency. And the fact that she comes from within our region. And the fact that this is our first sitting since that election of Tanzania took place. It would be prudent probably for us to officially do a congratulatory message for the President of the Republic of Tanzania. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move under Rule 30 of our Rules of Procedure. Thank you so much.
Do you have seconders? Honorable Makame, Honorable, there are many. You can proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members. I am one of those people who is very passionate, especially when women rise to the top. It's a pride for those women who have never thought that they will ever assume any office. You know the history of Africa as a continent. Our places had been in the kitchens. And when a woman in the soils of Africa rises to the office of presidency, I think it's very imperative for all of us to celebrate despite other factors constant. In the whole of Africa, in my new age, I think I've only heard about Her Excellency Salif from West Africa. I've also heard of Joyce Banda from Malawi, and the only other that followed is Samia Suluhu of the great United Republic of Tanzania. And that is a big statement for the young people, the young girls aspiring for higher offices in the world. And I think it is very imperative that this House, the fact that she's also a member of our Council of the East African Community. Mama Suluhu has done quite a lot in her first term as the President of Tanzania that we need to applaud. And the fact that she has reassumed that office is not a mean achievement, especially for a woman. Because in most circumstances, the office of the president is expected to be only for, most especially it is for the men. Because there's a lot of stereotype when a woman assumes such a big office. Therefore, to me, it's a celebration. Because this is not just for us as the East African community, but it is for our children in Africa who look towards having these offices in the future. Therefore, honorable members, this being our first sitting in the Republic of Uganda, which happens to be one of the East African community member states, and Her Excellency Suluhu being one of the members of the East African community, and one with high ranking, because when you look at the 8 countries of the East African community, we have 8 member states, but with 1 female president. Please, let's applaud the President of Tanzania, of the United Republic of Tanzania. Therefore, it cannot be it is a big statement not only to the community of the East African people, but to the whole world. And therefore, it is now upon us to congratulate the people of United Republic of Tanzania in a special way, but also congratulate the President of the United Republic of Tanzania for the zeal and the determination to make sure she's at the helm of the leadership of the East African community as a region, but also the people of the United Republic of Tanzania. Right Honorable Speaker, When you look at the CV of the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, it's very rich. It's very rich. And when you look at her journey, it has not just started yesterday. It has been a step by step, 1,000 miles, starting with the first step. And that is something that we have to emulate as young people out there who watch her, whom she inspires to. It may not necessarily be to presidency, but to any other leadership position. Therefore, honorable members of this East African Legislative Assembly, I humbly move a motion as one of the members of this community for this House to officially congratulate and appreciate Her Excellency Suluhu for having assumed that office, for having been re-elected as the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Honorable members, I beg to move.
Thank you.
Procedure,
Honorable
Mr.
Jackson.
Speaker. Procedure.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, sir, whereas I stand to appreciate and congratulate the Honorable Jacqueline Amongin for this very important and timely motion, I also like to say that this motion that is so important should have been given substantial weight that it deserves by properly going on the order paper, so that members can prepare themselves, do enough research, contemplate on the achievement of this great lady of East Africa, and come and make substantial contribution to this motion. But when it comes by surprise, on the floor of Parliament, I think that this Parliament has not given it the substance that it deserves. Mr. Speaker, that's not saying that it is not important to congratulate Her Excellency Samia Suluhu, but that we should really give it time, put it on the order paper, get ready, and come and contribute, and do research, and come and contribute substantially. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move, and I also would like to take the opportunity to welcome colleagues and you, Mr. Speaker, to the Republic of Uganda. You are home, away from home. Uganda is always happy to have not only East Africans, but Africans and guests from all over the world. Karibu.
Honorable Makame, if you need to contribute, you know the rules. You raise your hand, and I give you the floor. You have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, having listened to the motion from my sister, Honorable Jacqueline Amongin, I'd like to really thank her for this timely motion, which is explained and submitted by the Honorable Mary Mugenyi, very important. But given that we won't do justice to this motion now, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to inform my sister, Honorable Mary Mugenyi, and now because I'm on the floor, that we can invoke Rule 30C. Rule 30C is, now this motion is open, but before we debate it, we can adjourn the debate for another date, and so that it can come on the order paper, and then we allocate sufficient time so that members can contribute to it. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker.
Bringing any motion?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The motion is...
Have you been seconded?
Yes. There.
Yes, you are. Proceed.
The motion on the floor is to adjourn the motion to congratulate, the debate to congratulate Honorable Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, for winning the 2025 general elections, for another date to be determined by the Commission. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker. Hmm? Huh? Tomorrow, but you can put it tomorrow, no problem. But I cannot determine now.
Honorable Makame,
Yes, sir.
I think that I had not opened the debate. I would have maybe proposed the question, and we would have proceeded that way. So, honorable members, if you allow me, honorable mover, I can propose the question, and then we will proceed with the honorable Makame proposal.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I would like to really appreciate Honorable Mary Mugenyi and Honorable Chair of the General Purpose Committee, my chair, for those proposals and the motion. But I would love us to have a time frame, and I would rather amend on the motion that he has brought, instead of saying until it is determined. I would imagine that this motion should be considered tomorrow in the plenary of sitting of tomorrow. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. We have a commission meeting tomorrow. We will consider this and we will decide. So, how would you proceed now, Honorable Makame?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm rising on motion, Rule 30, motions without notice, Rule 30C, motion for adjournment of debate. And the motion which is now on the floor, that the debate is open for congratulating the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, High Excellency President Samia Suluhu Hassan, to be adjourned until tomorrow, as may be determined by the Commission. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You had seconders now. Honorable members,
Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Kakoza James, we have now.
It's a procedure matter, Speaker.
Okay, you have the floor.
For the record of the Hansard, if you are moving under Rule 33, I can read it verbatim. It says, withdrawal of motions. A notice of motion may be withdrawn by the member who gave the notice.
Mr. Speaker, it is 30C, not 33.
He is on the floor.
I'm on the floor. If you want
C, not
to withdraw 33(1), the head note, I have the rules.
No, that is not what Honorable Makame
Right,
said.
Honorable Speaker, he wants to withdraw a motion under Rule 33. Can I be protected? Right, Speaker, explain. The motion which was on the floor was moved under Rule 30 without notice. Another motion was brought by the procedure brought by Honorable Mary Mugenyi. If it's accepted, the withdrawal of motions on the floor of the House, you go to Rule number 33, which says, verbatim, a notice of a motion may be withdrawn by the member who gave the notice, but notice of the same motion may be given again either by the same member or by any other member. So if you are moving to withdraw a motion and accept it, you go under Rule 33. You don't go back to Rule 30.
Honorable members, we are now losing much time now. Let's proceed so that we can continue our proceedings. I give the Honorable George Odongo. No, it was I had Honorable George Odongo. You can hold. I had Honorable Dr. Black, who was there before you. Then you will follow. And try to be brief.
Right Honorable Speaker, the motion is not being withdrawn. We are only deferring the debate, and it is properly under Rule 30C. That's what we have done, Right Honorable Speaker. And I think the Honorable Kakoza is coming with a different thing, contrary to what we are moving on, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Kakoza is my coach. I find difficulty sometimes to put him on order because he is my coach. But I think the right thing we are doing, Right Honorable Speaker, is that Honorable Makame has moved properly, only adjourn the debate under Rule 30C.
Thank you. Honorable George.
Honorable Speaker, there is a difference between a motion and a debate. Once a motion has been moved and has been seconded, it becomes property of the House. And once the debate has started, then subsequent intervention is only to adjourn the debate. And that was done correctly by the Honorable Makame when he said under Rule 30C. So, Honorable Kakoza, hold your fire for now. The Honorable Dr. Makame is right because he's trying to make use of the proposal that came from Honorable Mary. So can we just proceed as proposed by the Honorable Makame? Thank you so much.
So, honorable members, I now put the question that those who are in favor of the motion proposed by Honorable Makame say aye. Those who do the contrary say nay. The ayes have it. We proceed.
Item 3 on the order paper. Item 4 on the order paper. Report of the Eala Women's Caucus on the challenges faced by women in cross-border trade in the EAC region by way of motion.
Mr. Speaker, the clerk skipped 3 for laying of the paper. Yeah.
Honorable Chair of Eala Women's Caucus, move the motion.
I beg to move a motion that it was already late. I beg to move a motion that the report of the Eala Women's Caucus on the challenges faced by women in cross-border trade in the EAC region be adopted.
Seconders, you are seconded. You can proceed.
Thank you. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in thanking the Republic of Uganda for hosting us for the 3rd time, counting from Eala 4. As always, we are looking forward to a good time, and we are looking forward to the outreach program and meeting the Ugandan people and seriously integrating in this region. Right Honorable Speaker, please allow me to appreciate and thank the incredible members of Eala Women Caucus. And in this we include the he for she, who successfully contributed to conducting these activities at the 4 border points, and who today I'm proudly representing in presenting this report to this august House. This is a bit high for me.
Now you can justify your motion. Did you justify it? Okay,
I'm reading
good.
the motion.
Okay.
I'm reading the report.
Proceed.
Introduction of the report. The East African Legislative Assembly Women Caucus was established.
Microphone.
This is high for me. Okay, that's possible. The East African Legislative Assembly Women Caucus was established to champion gender equality and the empowerment of women in accordance with the provision of the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community. Through its core parliamentary functions, which includes representation, legislation, and oversight, the caucus is committed to promoting gender-sensitive governance and fostering an inclusive society in which women and men enjoy equal status and opportunities. The caucus actively addresses gender disparities through strategic interventions aimed at ensuring equal access to opportunities, comprehensive protection against discrimination, and increased participation of women in political, governance, and economic spheres. In addition, it advocates for the rights and welfare of vulnerable groups, including children, persons with disabilities, and the elderly. In line with this objective, the Eala Women Caucus conducted an oversight mission from the 12th to 13th September 2025 at selected one-stop border posts within the East African community. The purpose of this activity was to assess the challenges faced by women engaged in cross-border trade and to identify policy and programmatic interventions that can enhance their participation and protection within the regional trading framework. 1.1, background and rationale. Women play a pivotal role in the economic landscape of the East African community, particularly within the informal sectors such as agriculture, retail, and artisanal arts. According to UN, over 75% of women traders operate informally, with women constituting the largest share of participants in informal cross-border trade. Their contributions are vital to local food security, employment generation, and the broader goals of regional integration and economic growth. However, despite the commitments outlined in the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community, Customs Union and Common Market Protocols, and the East African Gender Policy, access to formal financial services remain disproportionately low. Only 22% of women entrepreneurs have access to bank loans, compared to 37% of their male counterparts. Women traders continue to face a multitude of barriers, including limited access to markets due to inadequate infrastructure and bureaucratic procedures. Clearance delays at border posts disproportionately affect women, with up to 70% experiencing extended processing times, Additionally, gender-based violence and harassment at border crossing remains a significant concern, with 40% of women traders reporting such encounters. Furthermore, many women lack access to crucial information regarding trade regulations, market prices, quality standards, and border procedures. Lack of information can lead to exploitation, financial losses, and inability to capitalize on market opportunities. Moreover, many women have limited formal education and business management skills, including financial literacy, marketing, and record keeping. These factors collectively hinder their ability to access credit, navigate complex market dynamics, and grow their businesses. Difficulties in accessing finance remains a major barrier for women traders, primarily because they lack collateral, credit history, and awareness of available financial products. Nevertheless, promising developments are emerging. Capacity building initiatives such as the East African Women in Trade Network have led to a 25% increase in income among trained women traders. Trade facilitation measures, including the implementation of the single customs territory, have reduced border crossing times by 30%. Technological advancements, particularly in mobile money, have further expanded financial inclusion with a 45% increase in women's mobile account ownership over 5 years. These gains underscore the importance of sustained policy reforms, infrastructure investments, and targeted capacity development to meet the region's gender equality targets. Gender-friendly initiatives, such as table banking championed by Kenya's First Lady, have significantly contributed to women entrepreneurs' access to financial services without the significantly contributed to women entrepreneurs' access to financial services. In addition, products such as the group investment schemes offered by some commercial banks in Uganda have notably increased entrepreneurs' access to financial services without the traditional requirements such as collateral, business records, TIN numbers, and etc. The above positive developments in the financial sector have made significant contributions to the realization of Article 121 and 122 of the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community, which affirm the critical role of women in socio-economic development. 2. Objectives of the field visit. Specifically, this oversight intended to, 1, review existing national programs and institutional frameworks governing women's participation in cross-border trade. 2, identify available opportunities and challenges affecting women traders at major one-stop border posts. 3, enhance EAC's visibility and awareness through border community support. Number 3 is methodology. The oversight exercise utilized mixed participatory approaches, including site observations, stakeholder consultations, and desk review of relevant documents. This activity was conducted in 2 days from 12th to 13th. There is a mistake there. September 2025, at 3 one-stop border posts and a border point as follows. Namanga one-stop border post, which is between Kenya and Tanzania. Katuna one-stop border post, which is between Rwanda and Uganda. Elegu Nimule one-stop border post, which is between Uganda and South Sudan. And the last one was Kamvira Gatuna border post, which is between DRC and Burundi. Yeah, we'll correct that. Let me move on. Members of the Women Caucus were divided into the respective one-stop border posts and border point. Each group was accompanied by clerks. In each of these border points, there was consultative meetings were held with ministers responsible for East African affairs, trade, agriculture, revenue authorities, immigration, security agencies, border management officials, women cross-border traders associations, women traders, and truck drivers. Information gathered was triangulated through interviews and desk reviews of EAC legal and policy instruments. In addition, Her Excellency the Secretary General, members of the Eala Women Caucus, EAC staff, and other key stakeholders undertook a community-focused corporate social responsibility initiative, and this involved sanitary pads, baby wipes, and soaps, which were distributed to female students and women traders at Namanga, demonstrating a commitment to community welfare. Findings. One is institutional frameworks and programs at the national levels of the 4 partner states. Findings from document review reveal that there is sufficient institutional framework and programs in partner states hosting the border points visited. Generally, they have aligned national frameworks with regional commitments on gender and women empowerment, as listed below. Table 1 provides description of the different national institutional frameworks and programs supporting women entrepreneurship. This table is 6 pages, and since we have provided a document for you to look at instead of reading through, I will allow you to do that by yourself. So
Sorry.
I'll be moving to 4.2.
Sorry, excuse me. Honorable members, we had insisted and agreed on brief summaries.
Okay.
And with this, we'll have to take 1 hour in reading this summary. I propose suggest you to take us directly to the common non-compliance issues, which we need to know the issues that you have observed there, so that we can handle them together. The other things we'll have to read them ourselves. Otherwise, we will. If you are willing to this, you will go to page 14, and then we will maybe save time and give a chance to others who will follow.
Thank you very much for your guidance. I was just about to do that.
Thank you.
And we thought, because this is a first ever report presented by the Women Caucus, and the issue is not just related to women, I think it's common, and we really, for the first time we are looking at these issues, I thought there was need for details, though of course I will try to skip some of the sections because you have the report, but we thought it was very important to give these details. Right, Honorable Sir.
Thank you.
So I skip that. I go to 4.2, which is related to goods traded across the borders and is presented in the table available for you. 4.3 is about initiative supporting women cross-border traders. And we divided, this report divided the initiative into 2. The first one is 4.3.1. It is initiative by EAC. And from the EAC, the initiative that the Women Caucus found important was the one-stop border post, which we thought the establishment of one-stop border post at Nimule, Elegu, Namanga, and Katuna has been a cornerstone of East Africa's trade facilitation strategy by bringing together officials from adjacent partner states under one roof. I think that is the center of the thing, that that one-stop border works. The second is simplified procedures and regime. And the importance of this regime is that it helps to reduce the time taken for processing goods and papers. Number 3 is single customs platform. This also was very important in the sense that all passenger documents are put on this document so that both sides can sit together and clear very quickly either goods or people moving across the border. And number 4 is the Joint Border Committee. Correction, is not post, but Joint Border Committee. The Joint Border Committee meets monthly, and it's a mechanism for coordination and resolution of dispute. And it's very significant because it offers opportunity for stakeholders, and particularly women, to participate in governance and administration of the borders. Apart from the East African related initiative, there are bilateral initiatives, and it's in 4.3.2. You can read that for yourself. It goes up to page 13. And then 4.4 are very important for you to know. I'll read it through. There is common non-compliance issues. Through stakeholders' consultation, the caucus learned that there are serious compliance issues affecting women cross-border traders. The most frequently cited issues were smuggling, this is on page 14, smuggling through porous borders. And a significant number of traders attempt to bypass the official border points, opting for the numerous and often dangerous unofficial or ungazetted routes. This is very important for women because in the end they are not only cheated and they may fall into physical danger. Number 2 is absence of official commercial transaction documents. A lot of the informal traders very often do not keep receipts, they don't have invoices, and they don't have transport documents, very often no TIN numbers, and this actually work to delay the passing through of goods. It may even earn penalties, and sometimes they lose their goods totally. Number 3 is fragmented movement and concealment of tactics. Just because most informal traders are not aware of the single simplified trade regime, some of them believe taxes are very high, so instead of going through the normal procedure, they decide to divide their goods and they make repeated crossover to appear as if they're taking personal goods. And sometimes, of course, they fall victims. Number 4 is non-compliance with certificate of origin requirements. So still there are a lot of issues of compliance among the small-scale traders. Number 4.5 is challenging facing women traders at border posts. There are many. I will not go into details. 4.4.1 is common security and social protection. That's an issue. Misconception about taxation. People think taxations are high and yet they don't know. Number 4 is lack of access to and use of relevant trade documents and information. Number 5 is reluctance to engage directly with custom officers because they are afraid of the custom officers and very often they believe they are cheated. But also there are a lot of these agencies around the custom office who actually misinform them, making them believe that if they use these agents, they may escape taxes and therefore pay less, but of course they end up paying more than double. Reluctance to engage directly with custom offices, and then limited infrastructure and facilities, financial constraints. This is very important because at Elegu's side, we found that the only bank that existed was closed because of frequent floods. And then some very opportunistic financial agents came in, and the problem with these people is the rates, the interest rate range from 10 to 20, and very often the women are forced to pay daily or even weekly, making them almost like financial slaves, because very often what they should use for eating, they use it for paying these very scrupulous lenders. Capacity gaps was an issue. Governance and participation was an issue. Lack of formal and suitable identification. You know, the cross-border women traders need to move maybe 2, 3, 4 times a day across the border, you know, to the different markets. And what happens is, once they get a pass and it's full, then they will be forced to bribe somebody to give them another one. And because, you know, the national IDs sometimes do not work, and it's quite an issue, and women fall victims because of, you know, the need to have a long-term ID that helps them to cross the borders very easily and safely. And finally, it is lack of information. It's very serious. I think 4.4.5, I'll let you read through. For the interest of time, I'll go to observations, because the observation kind of summarizes all that we've seen in each border points, but also related to either security or taxation or crossing borders. So observation is on page 22. Can we move to page 22? The caucus commends the efforts by government agencies and other stakeholders in facilitating smooth cross-border trade, reflecting a growing commitment to inclusive economic participation and regional integration. In addition, the caucus commends the effort of women cross-border traders in organizing themselves and participating in the mechanisms and initiatives intended to increase their participation in the administration of the border posts. Observation number 1. Despite efforts to establish frameworks such as the simplified trade regimes and joint border committees, significant regulatory procedural and bureaucratic hurdles persist. Trading procedures remain complex and intimidating for informal women traders, while information gaps on trade policies and customs processes expose them to exploitation by corrupt officials and brokers. Observation number 2, further compounding these challenges are lack of harmonized customs and trade institutional frameworks among partner states, including disparities in road users' charges, customs procedures, and standards. These inconsistencies create confusion, elevate business costs, and subject women traders to unofficial fees, multiple taxation points, and arbitrary charges, undermining profitability and discouraging formal trade participation. Observation number 3, there are ongoing efforts by the Council of Ministers to eliminate non-tariff barriers between partner states. However, there are still existing non-tariff barriers which limit trade performance. Number 4, financial constraints remain a major barrier to women participation in cross-border trade. Many women traders lacking access to financial services due to the absence of collateral and availability of banking services at the border post. This limits their ability to expand or formalize their businesses. Number 5, infrastructure at border markets is often inadequate and gender insensitive. Many of these infrastructures are insecure, unhygienic, and in bad condition. There is unreliable water supply at one-stop border posts, undermines hygiene and food safety, while the absence of childcare facilities forces women to bring their children to market, reducing productivity and safety. Poor storage facility, including cold storage, makes it difficult for women to keep their goods safe and the required quality standards, while poor lighting increases the risk of theft, harassment, and gender-based violence, particularly for women trading during early and late hours. Number 6, harassment and gender-based violence by officials and security personnel are common, prompting some women to use unofficial panya routes that exposes them to robbery, assaults, and trafficking. Number 7, exploitation by middlemen persists due to limited awareness of rights and trading procedures. Many traders rely on costly and sometimes misleading intermediaries to navigate procedures, exacerbating marginalization. Number 8, information and capacity gaps further hinder women's participation in cross-border trade. Low levels of formal education, limited digital and financial literacy, and language barriers, combined with lack of relevant information, prevent effective engagement with the trade systems. Number 9, the lack of targeted training on customs, procedures, business management, financial planning, and legal rights remains a critical gap. Moreover, limited access to real-time update on border regulations, market prices, and trade opportunities impairs decision-making and responsiveness to changing conditions. Addressing these multifaceted challenges is essential to unlocking the full potential of women traders in cross-border trade. Number 10, additionally, most border posts do not operate on a 24-hour basis, restricting trade flow and limiting opportunities for women who rely on flexible trading schedules. I'll go to recommendations, which is on page 23. Recommendations. In view of the foregoing, the caucus urges the Assembly to adopt the following recommendations. Recommendation 1, urge Council of Ministers to prioritize the completion of the one-stop border post on the Nimule side of the Nimule-Elegu border and initiate the construction of this is one border post I can't pronounce the name of, Kamvira Gatumba one-stop border post, and ensure they include infrastructure, facilities, and services that are gender sensitive and ensure effective participation of women in cross-border trade. Number 2, urge the Council of Ministers to urge partner states to support capacity building programs targeting women and youth involved in trade. Number 3, urge the Council of Ministers to urge the Republic of South Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo to expedite the domestication of East African laws and ensure they are fully integrated into the single customs territory. Number 4, urge the Council of Ministers to direct the Secretariat to conduct extensive sensitization and training programs to create awareness on custom border requirements and procedures, enhance digital and financial literacy, and promote business formalization. Number 5, urge the Council of Ministers to urge partner states to harmonize customs and clearance procedures, sanitary and phytosanitary standards, and quality standards between partner states to reduce harassment, overcharging, and delays. Number 6, urge the Council of Ministers to urge partner states to direct Customs Office at one-stop border posts to optimize staffing at peak hours or surge capacity to reduce long queues and excessive processing times. Number 7, urge the Council of Ministers to urge partner states to ensure availability of adequate public services such as schools, health facility, daycare centers, space for lactating mothers, financing institutions, hygienic toilets at border posts to ensure affordable services for border communities. Number 8, urge the Council of Ministers to direct the East African Community Secretariat to ensure establishment of an anonymous, confidential, and accessible harassment reporting toll-free hotlines or secure suggestions boxes at every border point managed by an independent or trusted body to enable traders report incidences of harassment, corruption, and other misconduct without fear or retaliation. Number 9, urge the Council of Ministers to direct the East African Community Secretariat to consider the following as minimum requirements for infrastructure, facilities, and services at all one-stop border posts in East African Community. And this includes daycare centers and nursery schools. Number 2, rooms for lactating mothers. Number 3, clean and hygienic toilets and washrooms. Number 4, modern markets. Number 5, women desks within the one-stop border posts to cater for the needs of women so that they can report on things that are not favoring them. Number 6, trade information desk or office. Number 7, hospitals with maternity facilities. Number 8, schools. Number 9, banking facilities. Number 10, storage facilities, including cold storage for perishables. Number 11, anonymous, confidential, harassment, corruption, misconduct, reporting toll-free hotlines. Number 12, holding grounds for animals. Number 13 is tourism desk. Number 10, urge the Council of Ministers to urge partner states to ensure easy movement for women cross-border traders by recognizing photo identity cards for members of women cross-border traders or association or cooperative within 15-kilometer radius as provided by law, by East African Community law. This report concludes with acknowledgement. The East African Legislative Assembly Women Caucus extends sincere appreciation to the development partners, East African Community Secretariat, who funded the activity, partner states, border authorities, development partners, and Women Cross-Border Traders Association for their active engagement and cooperation during the oversight mission. Special gratitude goes to the ministries responsible for East African affairs, trade, gender, and security in the partner states, for facilitating field visits and helping in the stakeholder dialogues. This report reflects collective efforts towards achieving inclusive and gender-responsive regional integration. We thank you, all of you, for making it possible for us to report here. It's our first time to do this report, but then we thank the clerk and Right Honorable Speaker for giving us this special time to be able to present the report to this August House. We thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Dr. Ito, for this good report. I immediately proceed. The motion on the floor is that the report of Eala Women Caucus on the challenges faced by women in cross-border trade in the AEAC region be adopted. We open the debate. This is good. Even men are debating this motion. We start by Honorable Makame, then Honorable Clement, then Honorable Ndangiza, then Honorable George, then Honorable Francoise, then Honorable Gladness, then and Honorable Dr. Woda. In order, everyone, we start by Honorable Makame. Give me the list, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for allowing or granting me this space to contribute to this very important motion which is on the floor and a very important report generated by the caucus, the female caucus of the House. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the female caucus for undertaking this important task of visiting the borders to identify the challenges that are facing the females while conducting cross-border trade. And as alluded by the chairperson of the caucus, is that this does not only affect the females, but indeed it extends to all informal traders who are conducting trade across the borders. Mr. Speaker, from the presentation by the chairperson of the female caucus, it is very clear, Mr. Speaker, that the issue of sensitization to the stakeholders and specifically to the traders and the border agencies is still wanting. Mr. Speaker, this is because of the challenges which were raised, and you will note the issue of breaking the bulk that was presented, issue of documentation, issue of using the panya routes. These are all matters that are implying or an indication, clear indication that there is an issue of sensitization. Because if a trader is intending to cross the border with goods that are originating from the EAC partner states and is avoiding the border or debulking, and these goods are attracting a zero rate, now that is something which we need to do more, because it means that we haven't really done the sensitization that is required, and our people are not benefiting much from the integration and the facilities that have been provided in the policy. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, it would have been very much useful for this paper, for this motion, if the council was here. But now, we are, for reasons that are known to us, that the council will be having a meeting of the council in preparation for an activity of the heads of state. Now, the council had already arranged to usually the heads of state business takes priority, and for that we understand. And but I would really like that we forward this report and recommendations to the council, so that we can act on the recommendations as appropriate. Mr. Speaker, I wouldn't like to take much on the floor, because I see you have a very long list. I beg to move and conclude here. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Makame. Honorable members, let's be brief, because we have now on the agenda 2 more items. The next is
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for granting me this opportunity to support this motion on challenges faced by women in cross-border trade within our region. First and foremost, I want to commend the Executive Committee of Women Caucus and all members of the caucus, and he for she, and all members of Parliament. They did a great report on this item, and women are key drivers of trade and economic growth in the EAC. They contribute significantly in a number of sectors: industrial, banking, informal sector trade, among others. Besides the remarkable work they are doing, as it was mentioned by the presenter, they are facing a number of barriers in trade, such as corruption, gender-based violence, exploitation. They are not even familiar with bank document and procedures as well. To underscore the importance of women in cross-border trade, allow me to use a quote from ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States. I quote, "Cross-border trade plays a crucial role in economic growth and development. Women constitute a significant portion of cross-border traders engaging in small-scale importation, exportation, and informal trade. According to various sources, between 70 and 80% of informal cross-border traders in Africa are women. This portion is very important and contribute significantly to the economic growth of our community."
Excuse me.
Right?
Honorable Makame, you have to be in order. Why moving all the time from place to place when you know that it's not allowed? Please return to your seat and stay there. You can proceed.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, as Eala, to give justice to this motion, Eala should champion policies that enhance gender equality and women's economic empowerment. Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, supporting this motion is investing in regional prosperity, women empowerment, and social transformation. With these few remarks, I declare again that I support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Clement. The next. Who's the next? Honorable Jojo Dongo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. You know, at the beginning of this, when the caucus was being formed, there were those doubting Thomases. Today is your answer. I think the report has spoken for itself and has reinforced the argument that we have always been making, that we cannot integrate without integrating women. Once the women get integrated, the ESC will even be more integrated. And our integration is driven by trade, and this trade is done by mainly within the cross-border areas. It's done by women. Now, this report has amplified some of the findings that the Committee of Trade and Investment has done before, but this time with really very, very powerful voices. There are existing frameworks that facilitate trade across our borders. And under the simplified trade regime, any goods up to about $2,000 are not subject to any taxes. But this information is not available to actually the women who are participating in this trade. And how I wish the members of our council were here, because every time we are telling them that one very powerful function of this assembly is to do sensitization. Because without sensitization, most of our people feel like they are left out. Now, this is a people-centered integration. So we need to get out of our boardrooms and engage the actual East Africans that are making the community to work. So this report should really be translated into some action by the Council of Ministers, but also importantly by the Department of Trade of the ESC Secretariat, identifying some of those critical areas that require our intervention. Honorable Speaker, maybe we need to do this more. And my call is for us to support the Women's Caucus extensively and to thank those agencies and organizations that supported this Women's Caucus activity, and to call upon all the people out there who want to see the ESC integrate that, you know, the women are making the right decisions at the moment and are really trying to do their best, and the Assembly is 100% behind them. So I really want to support the report and to propose that we get specific recommendations of this report. Maybe the Women's Caucus working together with the Committee of Trade, we identify specific recommendations and then again process them very, very strongly and see how we can engage with the Council of Ministers to do something. Especially, we can start with some cross-border, OSBPs. We can start with these specific OSBPs. Recently, I had the privilege to travel with a technical team of the Secretariat that was mapping out Uganda, Congo OSBPs. And I moved from Ntoroko up to the other side of the DRC. And one of the things that we identified is that, you know, the OSBPs because the women traders have some unique, in order for you to facilitate trade, particularly the participation of women, you need to identify their unique requirements. And you find that these OSBPs, I think during the time of their design, did not anticipate, they did not envisage some of those. So we requested that in the new ones that they are trying to do now, they should integrate these recommendations that are here, that the Women's Caucus has identified. Those should have them, but also those ones that already the Women's Caucus has visited, that really have so many women doing business there. It is not asking too much for us to put in some resources to ensure that we put the infrastructure that can support the women. Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker, and I support the report.
Thank you, Honourable George. The next is, who's the next? No, we are proceeding. Is it procedure?
I'm the one to follow, Right Honourable Speaker.
No. Which motion? Yes, you can move it.
Right Honourable Speaker, we all support this debate. We all support this idea, and you can see all of us want to speak.
Yes.
I now propose to move a motion under Rule 48 that you put a question for us to adopt, and then we close this debate. We all support this.
Honourable members, do you have seconders?
I do.
Oh, very good. You are seconded. So, honourable members, I now put the question that those who are supporting this motion say the motion that we stop the debate here. Those who are supporting him say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Proceed.
Item 5, motion for resolution of the Assembly commending the Secretary Council on Education, Science, Technology, Culture, and Sports on the establishment of the East African Common Higher Education Area.
Proceed, Your Right Honourable.
Honourable members, honourable members, Honourable Francoise, Honourable Gil, honourable members, what we have to do is to put the question. Because the motion has been adopted, I now put the question that the report of Eala Women Caucus on the challenges faced by women in cross-border trade in the East region be adopted. Those in favor say aye. Aye. To the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. We will go now to the next item.
Motion for resolution of the Assembly commending the Secretary
Clerk,
Council on
you
Education,
have to get a microphone. No one is hearing you.
Technology, Culture, and Sports on the establishment
Procedure,
of
right,
the East African Community Higher Education Area.
Procedure.
Procedure.
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker, you have put the question, but she did not even conclude on responses. That's the practice, Right Honourable Speaker. So procedurally, we are not going right.
But the debate has been closed.
She can respond, and then the motion be put, Right Honourable Speaker.
On which rule? Once the debate is closed, it is closed. Let's proceed. We were on item number 5. And I now call Honorable Dr. Makame to move the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm rising.
Point of procedure, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, an issue that was raised by Honorable Dr. Oda, that our chairperson never had time to respond. So allow her, because this is procedural, before we go to another item. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The procedure of this House is that after the members have contributed, the mover of the motion must be called to reply. So therefore, there was an opportunity for Dr. Ann Ito to come to the floor of the House and reply on the motion. Otherwise, when it goes to the answered without any reply, I think it will not be procedural. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I think you...
Order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order.
Who is raising another issue? I think that...
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
I wanted to be guided. Is it in orderly manner, once the Speaker has made a decision for a member to stand up and raising another issue in respect of what has already been decided by the Speaker of this House? Is it in orderly manner?
Honorable members, I have, as a Speaker, I have already ruled. I will not go back. And if we go to Article 48, in the point 2, if the question of closure is agreed by majority, the motion which was being discussed when the closure motion was moved shall be put immediately without further discussion. Let's proceed. So I have given the floor to Dr. Makame.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm rising here to move a motion to commend the Secretary Council on Education, Science, Technology, Culture and Sports on the establishment of the East African Common Higher Education Area. And this motion is being moved under Articles 5, 9, 16, 49, 59, 76, 102, 103, 104, 119 of the treaty and Rule 26 of the procedures of the House. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker.
Seconders, Honorable Sankok, Honorable Matthias, Honorable Aisha, Honorable Ndangiza, and others. You can proceed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I move the motion, you already recognize, Mr. Speaker, the presence of the Executive Secretary of the Inter-University Council of East Africa, Professor Idris Rai, and Professor Mawa, who are here from the Inter-University Council of East Africa to listen to this motion as key stakeholders in the sector of higher education. We really thank them for making time to be with us here today. Mr. Speaker, whereas Article 5, 76, and 104 of the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community enjoins partner states to promote and facilitate free movement of persons. labor, services, and right of establishment and residence through the implementation of the EAC Common Market that all partner states enjoined via the Common Market Protocol since July 2010. And cognizant that education is a fundamental pillar in the realization of the objectives of the community, particularly in building a skilled, competitive, and innovative human resource base for sustainable development as envisaged by Chapter 16 of the Treaty for Establishment of the EAC, vide Articles 102 and 103. Appreciating the commendable decision of the Sectoral Council on education, science, technology, and culture and sports to establish the East African Common Higher Education Area, which is a critical step towards harmonization, mutual recognition of qualifications, and mobility of students and academic staff within the region, as envisaged by Articles 10, 11, and 47 of the Common Market Protocol. Further appreciating the Kampala Ministerial Communique of the first Ministerial Conference of the East African Common Higher Education Area, done in Kampala on 11th September 2025. And noting that higher education builds on the input from the lower education system, and that harmonization of curricula, standard and quality assurances at both the middle and primary education levels is equally vital as they form the input into the tertiary or higher education. And conscious that the desired realization of the EAC Common Market will become a reality only and only if other sectoral councils emulate the positive initiative of undertaking harmonization and approximation measures in their respective dockets under their mandate. Now, therefore, this assembly resolves to 1. Commend the Sectoral Council on Education, Science, Technology and Sports for initiating the East African Common Market Higher Education Area that was coordinated by the Inter-University Council of East Africa. That was ably coordinated by the IUCEA. And 2, to urge the Council of Ministers to ensure effective and timely implementation of this framework through the Inter-University Council of East Africa and other relevant organs and institutions. 3, to implore the Sectoral Council on Education, Science, Technology and Sports to equally prioritize approximation and harmonization of both primary and secondary curricula, standards across the region so as to have a robust East African Common Higher Education Area. 4, to call upon other sectoral councils within the EAC to emulate this initiative through adopting common sectoral approaches and frameworks that would facilitate achievement of the crucial steps of the EAC integration as envisaged under Article 5 of the treaty. And 5, to urge the Council of Ministers to heighten efforts of implementation of the EAC Common Market Protocol, especially through implementation of Articles 50 and 51 that envisage monitoring and evaluation of the common market and issuance, activation of the regulation directives and decisions respectively. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Makame. Have you justified it?
Mr. Speaker, as the motion is very straightforward, I won't take much time to justify, but allow me just 2 minutes to do that. And one is that, as I stated in the motion, and I'd like to thank my brother Musanga Batware for seconding it, but all the House for doing that, that this this motion is stemming, this action of having the higher education area comes from the Common Market Protocol and also the treaty. But not written in the motion is that the summit of the heads of state took a decision in 2017 to have a higher education area. And the Sector Council, which I named the Sector Council for Education, had a ministerial conference and issued a communique this September. Much as it took time, but they say better late than never. Now, Mr. Speaker, it is very clear that this higher Sector Council for Higher Education is very much keen to implement the protocols and decisions that will, in the sector, to achieve the integration. And as prayed in the resolutions, that we should have other sector councils doing the same. Harmonization and approximation of laws. And all other requirements in the protocols we have in the community. So it's very important that now this sector council, setting the pace, the other sector councils have to come in. And you will very much appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that we have so much to do in the integration. Earlier we had the female caucus report, also highlighting very important issues and issues also for centralization. Mr. Speaker, let me end here. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Makame. Honorable members, the motion on the floor is that the Assembly do resolve to commend the Sectoral Council on Education, Science, Technology, Culture and Sports on establishment of the East African Common Higher Education Area. Debate is open, and we start by your seconder, who is Honorable, Musanga Batware Clement. And then after Musanga Batware, my clerks, please give me the list. And the Honorable Clement, you can proceed. I hope that the clerks have listed the members.
Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, thank you very much for granting me this opportunity to second a motion moved by Dr. Makame, a motion to commend the Sectoral Council on Education, Science, Technology, Cultural and Sports on the establishment of the East African Common Higher Education Area. Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, it is very important to harmonize education. Harmonization enhances mobility of students, lecturers, and researchers across partner states. It creates a seamless academic space, making it easier for learners to pursue education everywhere within the community. It strengthens the EAC's global competitiveness as a knowledge-based region. The second benefit is a mutual recognition of qualifications. It ensures that degrees and diplomas issued in one partner state are automatically recognized by other partner states. It removes barriers faced by graduates seeking employment or further studies within the community. It promotes trust in academic systems across the entire region. Right, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, it also contributes to human capital and economic transformation. Lastly, right, Honorable Speaker, this motion promotes opportunity, regional identity, and long-term transformation. I beg to submit, Right Honorable Speaker, and declare that I support this motion as the seconder.
Thank you, Honorable Clement. The seconder. After you, the list I have is, we have Honorable Katwamba, Honorable Maina, Honorable Falada, Honorable Gladness, Honorable Dr. Aisha, Honorable Sankok, Honorable Saidi Kibeya, Honorable Matthias. That's the list that I have. So we go now to the next, Honorable Katwamba. Please be brief, as we have a good number of the members who want to contribute.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like first of all to extend my gratefulness to you for allowing me to debate on this motion before the House. Similarly, special gratitude to Alhaji Dr. Makame for moving the motion. However, of all the appreciation, recognition, and the credit should go to AUSEA. Why? Because of the central role they played in developing the policy, tools, and instruments. Mr. Speaker, sir, if we were to draw a pie chart on the pillars of integration, then a bigger portion of the chart, 60%, will go to the Common Market Protocol. And two major objectives of the Common Market Protocol are: one, free movement of people, goods, services, and capital. And the second one is harmonization of policies and regulations. These two major objectives are found in the establishment of this higher education area. In another sense, it means that if this higher area authority is higher education area is enacted, we won't use a lot of effort to make sure that we are vividly graphic as a community. That means our observability will be obvious through the enactment of this higher education area. Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a confusion. The mass at the grassroots, they interpret East African community as Eala and employment. Do we think why? It's because it's where we are visible. It's where the election in Somalia, election in Uganda, and what is where it catches the attention of the media. So people think that EAC is it's about Eala and employment. It's not true. These are not objectives of the Eala. The objectives of the Eala, these are just drivers to propel the objectives of East African community. Now, what next? Suppose we are creating a human being. I'll tell you why. I know the committed Catholic like Nkurunziza will say that I'm blaspheming. No, I mean the robotic human being. I don't mean the real human being. Now we have created the brain. We still have not created the limbs, the legs, and other organs. So we have a serious problem now. To harmonize all other sectors in order for this enactment to work out. I know of my colleague in Tanzania, one of the famous researcher, a guru in research, but he has 19 children. 19 children. I don't know how many wives, but 19 children. Suppose he pops at the border with his family. He's moving to Makerere University after getting employment. That means you will have to harmonize.
Honorable Katwamba, did you verify that he has 19 children?
Yes, these are very, very few children in
Maybe
Tanzania.
9.
Yes, I can verify. My father had 40. Thank you for So my point is that we shall have to harmonize the free movement of people at the border. People will have to cross without many conditions. Similarly, we shall have to harmonize the way we make the calling, make the phone, the calling tariffs. That means his father in Dodoma will have to call daily. That means the tariff of calling will have to go down. We'll have to harmonize the way we make our calling. Similarly, we will have to harmonize the retirement benefit, the health insurance, and all other things. But the punishment comes when it comes to the salary. We have a serious problem. Exchange rate is a punishment. Honorable Speaker, sir, if you tell these members of this House that I'm going to pay you $200 as a transport to your back home, the first thing they will do, everyone will pick his cell phone from his pocket, straight forward to the calculator, try to convert those US dollars into the local currency. We have 8 local currencies in one community. So therefore my urge is these things should go as a body. We should not harmonize only one area. It won't work. Let's work and fast track on the single currency issue. Lastly, I support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Katwamba. Now, Honorable Maina.
Yes, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise on a joke that has been said that I will not reach to this because of my height, but thank you for this opportunity. I want to first congratulate the Honorable Makame for pushing this motion together with the Honorable Clement and declare that I fully support it. Right Honorable Speaker. Other than the fact that this particular motion and the recommendations that are being given by honorable members, that we are going to ensure that people can even have what you would call recognition of education qualifications. This particular motion will also help us in terms of ensuring that we have harmonized socio-cultures, political systems, and economic values that we hold together. Education is a key driver towards building cohesive and harmonized societies. So, Right Honorable Speaker, and it is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when we harmonize and creation of higher education areas, such as the one that is being pushed by the Honorable Makame, we are going to harmonize even our social values. We are going to harmonize even our economic systems. Right Honorable Speaker, you realize one of the barriers and handles that are pushing back our integration process is because our value systems around the economy and social systems of our region, they are yet to be harmonized. So I believe education serves as a key driver to harmonize our values and our belief systems around the economics and the social aspirations of our people. I want to challenge the Honorable Makame to push this particular motion to become a law, and you have my full support so that we can have, or we can push progressively the harmonization of this area from a legal point of view. Because as a motion, we are just urging. So I would want us to anchor this in law, Honorable Makame, and I believe each one of us here are going to support us or to support you when you push this particular motion or this particular issue to a legislative law that can govern our region. Honorable Speaker, I come from the understanding that we are being told that in the next few years, the biggest population in the world will come from Africa. And I believe East Africa being a very stable region compared to other regions of Africa, you can be sure that the biggest percentage of Africans will be in this region. That tells us that it is time that we created new opportunities and created new frontiers of opportunities for our people. You and I understand that the biggest percentage of our region are young people. And so that we can be able to manage our political issues within our respective partner states and even within the region, we must create opportunities for our young people. I always joke, because I come from an urban area in my country, I always tell people in my area, when the government of my country comes to speak of bonuses of tea, coffee, sugarcane, when they come to my town in Thika, they can no longer speak of bonuses of tea and coffee. The only bonus we understand in my town is the bonus of jobs. So when we create opportunities like the one the Honorable Makame aspires to create through this particular motion, we must put jobs at the center of our legislations. We must put jobs at the center of motions and every other policy and legal proposals that we seek to create within the East African region. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I know this particular motion seeks to create jobs for our people. So that now, when I'm in my country, Kenya, I can start thinking of creating, of earning a job in Burundi. I can start thinking of earning a job in the United Republic of Tanzania. So that should be the driver of these motions and the registrations that we are creating in this August House. And Right Honorable Speaker, I fully stand to support this motion because it is a motion of creating jobs. It's a motion of creating new frontiers of opportunity of young people in this East African region. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The next is Honorable Falada.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity. I stand to support the motion by my brother Honorable Makame, seconded by Honorable Clement. I'm here also, Honorable Speaker. The reason why I support this initiative, it is not just a milestone for education sector. It is a bold statement for our collective ambitions as community. It also signals our readiness for harmonize our academic system, promote the free movement of learners, professionals, positions East Africa as a globally competitive knowledge hub. Honorable Speaker, education is the backbone of any prosperous region. By creating this institution, we are setting the foundation for, one, mutual recognition of academic qualifications, and two, standardized quality assurance systems, and also integrated mobility of students, lecturers, researchers across partner states. This is how we build a truly integrated East Africa, not just opening borders, but by opening minds. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Falada, for being brief and giving a chance to others to contribute. Now, Honorable Gladness.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. I also support the motion. And coming from the academic background, I think this is a very, very important motion that we as members of parliament, we have to push, because for a long time we are trapped in, what can I say, academic protectionism within the region. That is, even if when we collaborate, we try to cooperate, but at the back, deep down, you see that everyone is trying to protect. So I think this is a very, very topical motion which will support us to have talent sharing, instead of talent draining. That is, we reach a point where we accept our own talents. But at the same time, I think this is a very, very important motion because it's going to unlock the potentials that we have in our regional value chains. Why am I saying that? With this motion, having this, this area where we are harmonized, where we recognize, but at the same time we prioritize what we think is the right skill set for our region, will be able to specialize. So I see the opportunity of specialization and removing, or I can say minimizing overlaps as you go across the region. Now each university will have the same programs, but we have comparative and competitive advantages which are different within the region. For example, if you look in Zanzibar and you say this is the area where the region will specialize in terms of marine sciences, because of their comparative advantages and competitive advantages, we are really going to benefit out of it. But at the same time, we can say maybe we look at Uganda and we say this is where we want to specialize as far as the agriculture skill set. So I see this as a very topical motion that is going to unlock even our regional value chains, which are not speaking to each other and are not even well established. So having this skills development, which is kind of being acceptable across the region and is being prioritized across the region, and I need to emphasize on the word prioritization, that if we are not going to prioritize based on the needs of the regional market, then we are not going to see the benefit of this particular motion. It is until that we prioritize and we identify where do we see this region, let's say according to the Vision 2050. What are the skill sets? What are the regional value chains that we think they really need to be strengthened, and we develop our capacities in that particular area, then we'll be able to benefit out of this particular motion that we intend to pass. But at the same time, I think it's high time now the East African, the East African experts, or we say our youth, because this is mainly going to address those, they'll benefit the ones that are still going for their university time, college time, they're still developing their skill set, is the issue of intellectual identity. That is, currently, we cannot easily identify ourselves. So having this particular motion, and I really urge not only for the Council of Ministers, but also the actors, to make sure that we really look at it at a very strategic point. So that is what I would say, that it is really topical and is quite important for our region at this particular time. And for that case, I support this particular motion. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Gladness. We give the floor now to Dr. Aisha.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I would like, first of all, congratulate Honorable Makame for this interesting motion. And Right Honorable Speaker, we all know that this economy of serving in developed country is linked on research, innovation, but also knowledge creation. And while we're looking to East African community, we cannot be globally competitive without having universities which are together. As today, we are fragmented. So, Right Honorable Speaker, this motion on the common education area is very, very important. We are talking about here people who have been in research, but also in teaching at University of Rwanda, especially University of Rwanda. We all know how we are struggling to have fund for research. And we have also a problem of duplication of program, but also we can also think about how it is very, very difficult to share data while we're talking about science and research. So by having this kind of motion, this common education area, we think it is really a good tool which can help us to pool all resources for research, but also we can create regional centers of excellence where we can do researchers which are well organized. You can see some strategic plan like in health, so like in agriculture, like in climate resilience, like, I don't know, in innovative action. And this is very, very important, Right Honorable Speaker, why we're looking, for example, in Europe, where they have the Bologna system. We've been seeing that collaboration within researchers is very, very important because they are getting money from the European Union, and they can make research which can help industries in Europe and immediately the development of the economy. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think this is a good practice which can be used in East Africa community, and then we can develop our industry and definitely our economy. I support the motion, and thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Aisha. Now, Sankok.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And from the onset, I do support this very important motion and timely motion by Honorable Dr. Makame, and also seconded by Honorable Clement. Honorable Speaker, but I think we are a bit late because, Honorable Speaker, Julius Nyerere, the president of the late president of United Republic of Tanzania, studied here in Makerere. Mkapa studied here in Makerere. The late Mwai Kibaki studied here in Makerere. Museveni studied, that is General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, studied in Dar es Salaam. Honorable Speaker, the current Minister of Finance of Uganda studied in the University of Nairobi. His Excellency, General Kagame, studied in a school called Ndare School in Mbarara, here in Uganda. Honorable Speaker, Professor Governor Anyang' Nyong'o of Kisumu from Kenya was actually the student president, the guild president of Makerere University. Honorable Speaker, we had a common education area before independence and some few years after independence. Honorable Speaker, Makerere University was a university of East Africa in charge of medicine. The University of Nairobi was the University of East Africa in charge of engineering. Dar es Salaam University was the University of East Africa in charge of law, Honorable Speaker. I don't know where the rain started beating us. So therefore, this is a timely motion whose idea should have been yesterday, but since it is today, we do 100% support. Honorable Speaker, if you want to destroy a nation or a community, just mess up with the education system. And that is how our community was disintegrated, and all the infrastructure that we had as a community went, some of them to waste, some of them survived, but because we did not really understand the importance of the education system. Honorable Speaker, I'm pleased today that we are jump-starting this very important sector in terms of our integration. Honorable Speaker, if you want true integration, integrate the young people. How do you integrate the young people? Long time ago, they used to go to the army, NYS, they used to go to be Morans, if you are a Maasai for that matter, and Manyatas, Honorable Speaker. But our Manyatas, in their current scenario, are in schools. Honorable Speaker, if we integrate them in schools, then true integration of East Africa will take place. Honorable Speaker, I want to specifically thank Professor Idris. I think he's still around, Honorable Speaker, because of all the institutions that we oversight, as Eala, as a parliament. Honorable Speaker, I can say without fear of contradiction that USEA is the best. I was there as a member of the Committee of Accounts, Honorable Speaker, and how they use their finances, how they are organized. You can really tell how education is very important. Honorable Speaker, I was in a hall where there was the highest concentration of professors in the world. I can tell you all of them were introduced as Professor Idris, Professor so-and-so, Honorable Speaker, until I feared to speak in front of them. And you know, Honorable Speaker, a professor will always be a professor. And a professor will never retire. And if they retire, they don't tire. And if they tire, they don't die. And if they die, they don't rot. And if they rot, they don't smell. And if they smell rose flower. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I support 100%.
Thank you, Honorable Sankok. We go now to Honorable Saidi Kibeya, and then to Honorable Matthias.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to add my voice in backing this motion submitted by my brother, Honorable Makame, Chairperson of General Purpose Committee, for matter of recalling the establishment and operationalization of a common higher education area within the East African community. My comment here join the principle raised by the main seconder of the motion, Honorable Musangabatware, to allow the EAC achieve the common market by the principle of free movement of people, the principle to develop capacity in research and development. It is through higher education. And this matter of establishing and operationalizing a higher education common area is key. However, my comment is to request maybe a light amendment, because matter of recall, the heads of state declared already in 2017 the EAC as a common higher education area. And stipulating here that we commend Sector Council on Education, Science, Technology, Sport and Culture for initiating the East African Common Higher Education Area. We must miss to point and to support and to appreciate the key role of our heads of state. That is why I request that we may make a short amendment that Sector Council express a key action through the first ministerial conference on common higher education. It is a key action in the operationalization of the common higher education area without missing the policy role of the Sector Council and the main council to advise the summit. That is my proposal for a light amendment. I submit, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Saidi Kibeya. The mover have followed you. The next is Matthias.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Excuse me. The list I have, I am not seeing Honorable Mary Mugenyi. I think after Matthias, you could have the floor.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to echo what my predecessors have well highlighted. One, I have to thank our brother, Honorable Makame, the mover of this motion. The motion comes, I would say, a bit late. It would have been already moved and debated, and why not appreciated, because our higher education is really suffering from many challenges. I would say that with the creation of this East Africa Common Higher Education Area will really allow an enhanced student and staff mobility. And students and academics will move freely across East African countries, and this will help us to create a larger pool of educational opportunities and allow students to access specialized programs that may not be available in their home countries. When we look at a harmonized quality standards, a common framework for quality assurance and accreditation will ensure that degrees and qualifications are recognized across all over member states. And this will eliminate the barrier of credential recognition and make it easier for graduates to work anywhere in the region. When we look at the cost efficiency and resource sharing, our higher learning institutions will be able to share expensive infrastructures, research facilities, libraries, and online resources. And this will reduce duplication of efforts and allow smaller institutions to access resources they couldn't afford independently. When we look at research collaboration, researchers from different countries may collaborate more easily on regional challenges such as health issues, agriculture, climate change, and economic development. This pooling of expertise leads to more impactful research outcomes. Now, within the region, we will have an increased competitiveness by creating a larger integrated higher education market. East African institutions will become more competitive globally. The region can also attract international students and faculty, generating revenue and building its reputation. Targeting a labor market which is really strong. Our higher learning institutions, our universities, will better align their programs with the regional labor market needs, producing graduates with relevant skills across East Africa. This supports the broader East African community integration agenda and economic development. And this, finally, will lead to economies of scales. With joint programs, shared curriculum development, and collaborative training initiative will reduce costs while improving quality across the region. Right, Honorable Speaker, I once again support this motion and would recommend that the Higher Education Council, our higher learning institutions, really work on this matter and allow the community to improve our education system, economic system, and, fast track our integration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Matthias. The last one is Honorable Mary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I won't take a long time because a lot has been said about this important motion. First and foremost, I also stand to support the motion, but with amendment. Mr. Speaker, we are talking about the higher education area, a common East African higher education area. But I really think that it is important to argue and even put in law a common education area for East Africa. Why am I saying that? First, if you look at the motion itself, you realize that the first paragraph on the second page is recognizing exactly what I'm saying, noting that higher education builds on the input from the lower education system, and that harmonization of curricula, standards, and quality assurance at both the middle and primary education levels is equally vital as they form the input into the tertiary higher education. If I can go back to what the Honorable Dr. Sankok said very eloquently, he actually recognized that at one time when East Africa was small, the first East Africa, we had a common education area. Actually, my year in education was the first one to do the Ugandan education certificate or examination board. That's when East Africa now was disintegrating. During Amin's time, we now started having different education boards. But we had East African Education Board with an East African Certificate of Education, O-level, A-level. And we could go on as we grow to even think about a common curricula in even primary education. And I recognize that it is more difficult. We have different languages, different cultures, but the ultimate goal is to harmonize and have common standards as East Africans. The second argument I have, Mr. Speaker, is that the main reason why we want to standardize education is to be able to have a common space for free movement of our workers, labor movement. The labor that we are talking about is not only the holders of degrees, the holders of diplomas. We are actually talking about the semi-educated, all-level dropouts, but who can read and write these common languages that we have. Maybe be able to read in English and French and Swahili. Those kinds of standards is what we are looking at as East Africans. So that a dropout of O-level, A-level, can cross over to Kenya or to DRC or to Rwanda, Burundi, and so on, and be able to work and eventually get in a tertiary education institution and be able to be accepted because of the lower education level that he carries from the country that that person is coming from. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to make a small amendment and say that we establish an East African common education area, if that is accepted. I beg to move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Mary Mugenyi. Now, the mover, Honorable Makame.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for calling me to conclude the motion. Mr. Speaker, from the outset, I'd like to thank all the members that got the opportunity to make contributions to this motion by doing justice to it, and also thank the other members who didn't get the opportunity because they also had a desire and wish to contribute to the motion, but because of time. And we thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. But also, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the Inter-University Council for being in here. They've listened themselves to the matter and the motion. But also, Mr. Speaker, while my brother, Honorable Karobia, was speaking, he spoke about legislating of the common higher education area. And I can tell you, Honorable Karobia, while you are speaking, I was looking up there, and the IUCEA team were nodding in approval to your submission. So that, I think that should be the direction. So, Mr. Speaker, without much ado, I'd like to thank all the members, but allow me to mention them by their names. The seconder, Honorable Clement Musanga Batware. Honorable Information. Mr. Speaker, I take the information.
Yes, who's bringing information? You have the floor.
Right Honourable Speaker, I am rising on a point of information because earlier on, in her submission, the Honourable Mary Mujeni had proposed for amendment of the motion. Whereas I really am very much passionate about her proposal, but going by the strict sense of this motion, the motion is very specific to what the Sectoral Council has done, and that is and it is within the presence of the protocol that establishes the Inter-University Council. So the Sectoral Council on Education, Science and Technology, Culture and Sports has moved ahead to establish the East African Common Higher Education Area. This is within the protocol. But what we can do is to give, in order to give input to that proposal, is to give a recommendation that in the future, let us be looking into it, but not to amend this specific motion. Honourable Speaker, I made to submit.
Thank you. Honourable
Mr. Speaker, point of procedure, please. I propose an amendment to be accepted for resolution number 1, instead of initiating to amend this for expressing clear action toward the establishment of the Common Higher Education Area, because the Heads of State Summit had already declared that EAC is a common higher education area in 2017, 8 years ago, because putting the word initiating here may be confusing for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Now, before I proceed with the, because actually I had the plan was, as I'm mentioning the names of the members, then I would, where necessary, if there was an issue of amendment, I would have recognized it at that stage. But for the purposes of the record, is that the issue raised by my sister, Honorable Mary Mugenyi, is very pertinent, and it is contained in the resolution that the resolve to number 3, which reads, implore the Sectoral Council on Education, Science, Technology, Culture and Sports to equally prioritize approximation harmonization of both primary and secondary education curricula and standards across the region so as to have a robust higher education area. So that is contained, allaying your fears. The issue of the higher education. And so also for the middle and the lower.
You allow me to respond to that, Mr. Speaker. Actually, I should have said it, but that is said, but not reflected in the motion.
We are not hearing you.
Can you hear me now, Mr. Speaker? Yeah, I was saying that, yes, I saw it. Number 3, resolution. However, that is not reflected in the motion. That was my point. You have recognized the importance of lower levels of education to the East African common market integration. However, you have not reflected that in the motion. That's the issue I'm raising.
Thank you also, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much again. And I'd like to allay the fears of my sister, Honorable Mary Mugenyi. If she reads on the second part of the motion, the second page, it says, noting that higher education builds on the input from lower education system and that harmonization of curricula, standards and quality assurance at both middle and primary education levels is equally vital as they form the input into the tertiary or higher education. It's there. So I just wanted to allay the fears. And the issue of my brother, Honorable Professor, Dr. Engineer Al-Haj Said Kibea, Nyakubawa. Mr. Speaker, that one is procedural, and I can assure him that, because you see, when I was moving the motion, I spoke about the matter of summit in the justification. Why I didn't want to put it initially. Now I'm accepting and we are going to put it, but I just want to say why I did put it initially was to say and to portray the importance of the role played by the Sectoral Council in actually implementing that decision of the summit. And the issue of the common market. You see, there are other sectoral councils which are supposed to also implement decisions. Once the summit signs a protocol, it means it's ready for implementation. But they're taking how many now? This 15th year now, since the common market was implemented. So what I wanted to do was to laud this issue of this sectoral council of education, science, and technology, so that the other sectoral councils here, that we are commending that this sectoral council, we are recognizing the work it is doing, and they have to pull their socks. That is it, but we are taking that and we'll amend. So, Mr. Speaker, allow me to proceed now to recognize the members. I had already mentioned my brother, the seconder, Honorable Clement Musanga Batware, Honorable Omukama Ansar Kachwamba, Honorable Gerald Maina Karobia Mwangi, Honorable Godfrey Maina Mwangi, Honorable Falhada Iman Deko, my sister, Honorable Dr. Gladness Salema, Honorable Dr. Aisha, Honorable Dr. Olaiguanan Sankok, Honorable Professor Al-Haj Dr. Kibea Nyakubawa, Honorable Nyakubawa Ambassador Dr. Matthias, and Honorable Owechitibwa Mary Mugenyi. Mr. Speaker, while having recognized that, I also like to once again recognize the presence of the and Honorable the chairperson of the Uganda chapter, the mobile directory and the encyclopedia, Honorable George and Stephen Odongo.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah. Owechitibwa. And after having said that, Mr. Speaker, also to thank the stakeholders, the Inter-University Council, headed by the Acting Executive Secretary, Professor Idris Rai. Mr. Speaker, with that, I beg to move and thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Dr. Makame. This institution has become not only an East African one, but it has become intercontinental. No one mentioned that the officer who was to be leading this institution has been recognized by the African Union and has been picked one of the 7 commissioners that are in the African Union. This is a signal that what we are doing here is right. With this, I urge you, dear colleagues, to explore the way that we can have a bill. We need a law in this area. So with this, honorable members, I have now to put the question that this assembly do resolve to commend the Sectoral Council of on Education, Science, Technology, Culture and Sports on the establishment of the East African Common Higher Education Area to be adopted. Those in favor say aye. Those to the contrary say nay. The ayes have it. Let's go to proceed to the next item, which is the last one.
We proceed to the last item on the order paper, motion for resolution of the Assembly urging the Council of Ministers and partner states to develop a regional policy and legal framework for regulating and promoting responsible use of social media platform by way of motion.
Honorable Falada Diko Imam, who's the mover? You have the floor.
Thank you, Speaker. I'm moving a motion for a resolution of Assembly urging the Council of Ministers and partner states to develop a regional policy and legal framework for regulating and promoting responsible use of social media platform, moved under Article 6(9)D, Article 6D, Article E, and 492D of the treaty and the Rule 26 of the Rules of Procedure of the Assembly.
Do you have seconders on this motion? Honorable Sankok, Honorable Shabar, Kanikiga, Kadogo, and the others. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, whereas the community agreed the Article 6D and E of the Treaty for the Establishment of East Africa Community to abide by the principles of good governance, including adherence to democracy, the rule of law, accountability, transparency, and the recognition, promotion and protection of human rights in accordance in the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, and whereas Article 9 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights and partner state constitutions guarantee freedom of expression, including the right to receive information and to express the disseminate opinions within the law, recalling that the 2019 the African Commission on Human and People's Rights adopted the Declaration of Principle on Freedom of Expression and Access to Information in Africa, establishing the key right and principle aimed at enhancing freedom of expression and access to information across continent, acknowledging that through the declaration of the principle on freedom of expression and access to information in Africa, the African Commission on Human and People Rights provide guiding standards for balancing regulation, rights, and security, acknowledging that the East Africa Vision 2050 seeks to build a secure, stable, and innovative digital economy supported by open, inclusive, and right-based communication system. Cognizant that social media platforms have become essential tools for communication, information sharing, civil engagement, innovation, and economic growth across East Africa community. concerned that while social media enhances connectivity and expression, its misuse and has contributed to the spread of misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, cyberbullying, and extremist narrative threatening peace, national security, and social cohesion within the region. Further concerned that the divergent legal and policy approaches on social media regulation adopted by the partner states have resulted in inconsistency that undermine both the protection of digital rights and effective cross-border enforcement. Aware that Article 49(2)(d) of the treaty, the Assembly may discuss any matter pertaining the community and make recommendations to the Council, and now therefore be it resolved by the Assembly as follows: that in accordance with Article 6(d) and (e) and 49(2) of the treaty, the Assembly urge the Council of Ministers and the partner states to fast-track the adoption and implementation of a regional policy and legal framework for the regulation on social media platforms within East Africa region that promotes responsible online conduct while safeguarding freedom of expression and media independence. 2, adopt and implement measures to combat online hate speech, misinformation, disinformation, and disinformation through a harmonized legal measures, public education, and regional cooperation, while ensuring such efforts do not unduly restrict legitimate expression. C, consider establishment an East Africa multi-stakeholder digital governance forum comprising policymakers, regulators, civil society, academia, and the private sector to guide continuous dialogue, policy coherence, and human rights-centered digital governance. D, direct the Secretariat to work with the relevant stakeholders such as the East Africa Communication Organizations to conduct a comprehensive study to the impact of social media in East Africa region, including its socio-economic benefits, challenges, and policy gaps. E is to invest in digital literacy and awareness campaign, particularly targeting youth and vulnerable communities to promote responsible digital citizenship, media literacy, and online empathy. Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you. You can now justify your motion.
Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I raise today to move this motion of great urgency, profound regional importance, a motion calling upon the Council of Ministers and our partner states to develop a comprehensive regional policy and legal framework for regulation and promotion of responsible use of media platform across the East Africa community. Honorable Speaker, our region is in the midst of digital renovation. Social media has connected the people, our people, in a way previously unimaginable. It has created opportunity for innovation and expanded trade, empowered youth voices, and opened new avenues for regional integration. Today, social media, Mr. Speaker, is not just a communication tool, it is an economic engine and political space, a learning platform, and a social lifeline. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this great progress comes with equally great challenges. And across the East Africa, unregulated and inconsistent use of social media has exposed our citizens, especially women, children, and youth, to precedent risk. We are witnessing an alarming rise in misinformation, cyberbullying, hate speech, digital fraud, online radicalization, identity theft, and the widespread violation of privacy. Mr. Speaker, most painfully is women and girls in our region are being attacked in digital space with a level of cruelty and harassment that silences their voices and discourages their participation in public life. Online gender-based violence is now one of the fast-growing forms of violence, and it's borderless, nature means that no single partner state can confront it alone. Mr. Speaker, a digital threat we face, whether misinformation during elections, extremist recruitment online, or cross-border financial scams, do not respect national boundaries. Yet our laws do. That mismatch has created dangerous gaps in protection and enforcement of accountability. Mr. Speaker, some of the partner states have developed a strong cyber laws, but others are still at the early stage of developing these laws or maybe implementing. This unevenness creates confusion for users and loopholes for offenders and obstacles for cross-border investigation. And Mr. Speaker, I think I'm going to leave it there because the motion speaks itself as well, and I will let others to contribute, and I beg to move, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Falada. Honorable members, the motion on the floor is that this Assembly do resolve to urge the Council of Ministers and partner states to develop a regional policy and a legal framework for regulating and promoting responsible use of social media platforms. Debate is open. I start by the seconder, who is Honorable Mashaka Ngole. Then others will follow. Honorable Ngole, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to air my voice. And also, I also thank the mover of the motion for giving me this opportunity to be the second of the motion. Mr. Speaker, I will address myself to this motion before the court from a legal point of view, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, reading from the motion by the mover, I can understand that the objective of the mover is to have a legal frame, first to have a policy, and also to have a legal framework for these issues of regulating and promoting the use of social media platform, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to me, this is very important move due to the misuse of social media platform in the current situation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, in every society, you must have a legal framework in place. The reason why we are having legal framework in place is first to provide guidelines which guarantee fairness and also protect right of the members of the society. While on the other hand, it provides responsibility to the members of the society, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we are also a society, we East African community. Therefore, there is a need of having legal framework within our society. Mr. Speaker, there is a legal maxim which says, where you have rights, where your right ends, the other people's right starts or begins, which has an implication that individuals' rights and freedoms must be balanced against the right of the others. They are not absolute. So that if these individual rights and freedoms are balanced, you will also be able to protect protect persons' actions against the infringement by the others, Mr. Speaker. The protection will be there if you have a legal framework in place. Mr. Speaker, what do we mean by legal framework? legal framework are there to define entitlements of the individuals. They are also there, legal framework, to set boundaries for behaviors of the members of the society, and also providing mechanism for resolving the dispute between the members in a society. This is in order to achieve stability within the society. Therefore, having legal framework in a society is an important matter. And therefore, the motion came at the right time within our community, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I also noticed that in the motion by the mover, you can also see that the mover has indicated that one of the objectives of the motion is to implement measures to combat online hate speeches, misinformations. There you can see how importance of this framework to have in a society. But I understand that within our EAC, we already have the mother framework, which is our treaty. Treaty is our constitution, and it is our mother framework. All the other frameworks are a creature of the treaty that we have. That is why you can see the mover of the motion has moved in the motion in line with the provisions of our treaty and the rules of the procedures of the Assembly. Mr. Speaker, with this, I beg to support the motion. I humbly submit.
Thank you, Honorable Ngole. Now we can take the name of seconders. Clerk. Clerk, take the names. We have Honorable Kadogo, Honorable Sabal, Honorable Jacqueline, Honorable Dr. Black, Honorable Jodo Dongo, and Honorable Maina, and who else? That's all. Let's start by Honorable Kadogo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute on this very important motion. I stand here to support the motion. The motion is very important in legislating. First of all, social media platforms are very important in communication and also connecting to the rest of the world. But they come with their shortfalls, the shortfalls which we need to legislate. Social medias, once they are not legislated, they are harmful, and their content comes with hate and also misinformation and cyberbullying, which can cause harm. But another big problem that we need to look at, and it is very important that we legislate the social media platforms. There is a very big problem of social media addiction. You realize that very many people are addicted to social media, and very many people, especially the young generation, that they have reached to a level of some of them being taken even to rehabilitation centers because they have been addicted to social media. Not only the young generation, but also the big people, even in this room. You can even realize that there are those who are addicted and they on social media 24 hours. And being addicted also limits people from productivity. And also the young ones also being addicted to social media, it stops them from doing productive work. And even those who are school going, being addicted to social media, it stops them from schooling and even doing other productive work. So we need to legislate the social media platforms And on those very points, I stand here to support the motion and also to thank the mover, Honorable Falihada, for bringing such a very important motion, which is generation and which will protect our people from being addicted and also misuse of social media, which is very harmful to our people once it's not regulated. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Kadogo. Now we have Honorable Sabal, then Honorable Jacqueline, then Honorable Maina, then Honorable Blacks, then Honorable Odongo.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. I stand to support this motion with caveats. The social media is a direct byproduct of the internet. And the internet has come with a lot of positive things and a number of negative things. And social media is something that cannot be stopped now. And we have seen the positive things: information, education, and now the youth have turned the social media into a powerful platform for expression and for social change and even for business. And we also know the negative impacts of social media, the pornography, the radicalization, the false news and all that. But let us not lose the sight of the benefits by focusing more on the negatives. There is a very interesting debate going on in Australia right now, because Parliament voted to ban social media for people under 16. And it has created a huge, massive debate on where are the limits of free speech and at what age can people start expressing themselves. And there's a very interesting book that has been published recently called An Anxious Generation by a writer and a researcher called Jonathan Haidt. And he warned of a great rewiring of childhood and says that it is causing an epidemic of mental illness and a decline in adolescent mental health. And he noted that all these problems, the anxiety, the depression, even the self-harm that kids are doing, largely started after 2010, 2012, when smartphones were introduced. So his research is showing that there's a huge amount of social deprivation. Social deprivation being interaction between people is declining. Kids spend more time on their phones. During dinner, they're spending time on their phones. Parliamentarians, instead of listening to these important words, are on their phones. And you will often walk into a restaurant and find people on a date, and both people are on the phone. So you wonder, why are they here at all? Why didn't they stay home and continue with their phones? We see kids are suffering from sleep deprivation. They're on the phone the whole night watching TikTok. How do they go to school the next day and perform the way they're supposed to be performing? And then there's what they call cognitive fragmentation, a total loss of focus. You find that people are unable to focus for more than 5 minutes. And this is largely related to excessive use of the phones because of social media. And then, of course, this leads to an addiction. So these are issues that need to be very carefully monitored, because our children are going down a very slippery slope. And as the Honorable Falhada noted, it affects girls more because of the social media bullying that girls and young women face on social media. And there are a number of proposals that have come up. You know, no smartphones before high school, no social media before 16, as the Australians are trying. Make schools a phone-free environment. Maybe the same should be applied in Parliament. And no more allow children an opportunity to play more and spend less time on the phones. So I stand to support this motion. I think it is important that we find a way to control the negative benefits of social media. But it is important, and it is very important, that these new laws that we are trying to introduce do not end up becoming instruments of censorship. Control is important, but if we do not watch out, it will lead to censorship, and we are seeing this type of laws slowly being sneaked in through parliaments, and we have to be careful that we as the East African Parliament do not contribute to that negative trend. So, Mr. Speaker, I stand to support. I think Madam Falhada, the Honorable Falhada, has raised a very important point. These laws should be across our region. And for the third time, I'm repeating, let us be vigilant in making sure that in our attempts to control the negative impacts of social media, we do not end up becoming instruments of censorship. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Shabal. The next is Honorable Jacqueline.
Okay, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker, and I would like to commend Honorable Falhada for bringing such an important motion to this House. I think this motion should have even come prior because we are living now, we have moved from analog to digital, and we are living in the digital world in a way that we cannot underestimate the role of social media. I would like to give my example. Very early in the morning, by 5 to 6, social media informs me better than going to buy the newspapers on the streets and even watching all these channels on this, on different media houses. So I think on a positive note, social media is very good, although it has advantages just like my other colleagues have mentioned. But while we look at the social media, we have to also really deal with the issue as the East African community. We need to deal with issues of data governance and data protection. That is very critical as we handle, we debate the issue of engagement in social media. Because apparently, we are talking about the emerging technologies, that Internet of Things, we are talking about the AI, we are talking about the blockchain. All these are part of the social media, can be merged together with social media to improve on our legislations within the East African region. So harmonization of all these emerging technologies with engagement in social media will help us pave a very favorable law for the region. Definitely, I would talk about the advantages of social media. They are immense. I have personally benefited from social media, but I also know that there are immense disadvantages. So we need to strike a balance between innovations, the use of the new emerging technologies, and what we need to achieve as a continent, not only as East Africans, but as Africa. So, to me, I would like to emphasize to the Council of Ministers that while we engage in social media within the EAC, because the communities that we represent are all on social media, we need to make sure that we come up with a framework. I know that most of the East African member states, I know of Uganda, has some data protection law in place, but which needs to be revamped to fit into the current situation. The same applies to Rwanda, the same applies to Kenya, the same applies to Tanzania, and most of the EAC member countries. So I think this particular motion is very important for an assembly like the East African Legislative Assembly to come up with a harmonized data protection law, including which will actually delve into social media, and that will guide the modus operandi on how the East Africans operate in regards to the new emerging technologies. But we also need to note that most of these social media apps are actually, if you look at all of them, they are not generated by Africa. We are only end users. So they are more detrimental to us than even those who benefit from them. Facebook, Twitter, and all these apps, you realize that people are making a lot of money from the, when you look at the users, more from the African side than even from the other side. So it is beneficial to them. But to Africans, it's also beneficial for us, but it, at a large extent, also detrimental. So, to me, in regards to this motion, I would strongly call upon the Council of Ministers to look into, to expedite the process of having a harmonized data governance law in place to enable, to reduce on increasing risks of breaches and misuse of data within the East African community. There is also a need to talk about data governance within the cross-border cyber security issues within cross-border, because I can do something on TikTok. I can commit a crime in Uganda and I cross to Rwanda or to South Sudan or to DRC. So which regulation is in place in regards to that? So I think it's very important that we come up with a cross-border harmonized ESC regulations for seamless, secure exchanges, especially in regards to cross-border data flows. So to me, in a nutshell, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I would imagine that the Council of Ministers would take this as a matter of urgency, because when we have harmonized framework and regulation in place, we will be able to save our future generation. I have heard Honorable Shabal talk about us ourselves being here, but we are on phones. Sometimes we are on phones doing research because it's easier. For me, I just sit on my phone and I get all the information. I don't need to run to the to our research department here in Parliament when I want to immediately debate on an issue. So I think topmost harmonized laws for cross-border data, which will also emphasize on an area of social media. Then there is also need to ensure innovation balance, public awareness, and capacity building to within the East African community, so that we strike a balance in regards to engagement in social media. Otherwise, I would like to second Honorable Falhada to support. Yes, I support the motion brought by Honorable Falhada. Thank you very much.
Proceed, Right Honorable Speaker.
Procedurally, yes. Honorable Kennedy.
Yeah, Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a procedural issue. Right Honorable Speaker, we have been discussing motions and reports since the beginning of the plenary this afternoon. And one critical sector where our motions and reports go to are the councils of ministers. I'm wondering if we are only talking to ourselves without the Council of Ministers in a resolution that requires their approval or requires their presence. Right Honorable Speaker, where I wanted to ask this procedure, whether it's right for us to pass a resolution in the absence of the Council of Ministers who are responsible for the affairs of this community. And while we are indeed passing very important and talking important elements, and we are lacking even a single minister amidst us. Honorable Speaker, I need that procedural guidance. I thank you.
So do you propose to interrupt, to stop here, or what do you propose?
Right Honorable Speaker, I propose that if such important elements are discussed in the presence of the ministers, because that will have given weight on what we are talking. So talking to ourselves is like us meeting in a small group and then we agree there and finish. But important matters of this community must be discussed in the presence of the policymakers. And the organ responsible for policy making is the council, who are not present, and we are talking to ourselves. What are we doing? So I propose that such matters be deferred to an appropriate time where we have the responsible policy making organ in this house. I submit, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members, we have been many times complaining about the absence of ministers, and especially at this time when they are now heading to Nairobi for the meeting. It has been very difficult for them to be present here, but everything we discuss here, everything we debate, all of these reports, there are many ways can be used to reach the ministers. They should be here. We have been always responding that they will go back to discuss these issues among themselves. So this report that we are having here, this resolution, this recommendation, they will reach them. That is why ruling that we should consider that everything we have done from the beginning was losing time, I think it will not be wise for us. Let's continue our proceedings, and then we will take our decision, everything to the council. Yes, Honourable Sankok.
Honourable Speaker, I sympathize with Honourable Mukuria because you have really raised a very valid point, and thanking you very much, the Right Honourable Speaker,
Mr. Speaker,
the third most powerful person in East Africa, for
point of order.
That very good guidance, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker.
Point of order.
Someone is Mashakangole, yes.
Yeah. Mr. Speaker, once the matter has been decided by your seat, members, we have to respect your decision. And this is in our rules, Mr. Speaker. If you read properly our rules, including rules 38, you will find it there. Honorable Sankok is opening a discussion of the matter which you have already decided. Are we challenging your decision, Mr. Speaker?
As
this is
everyone knows,
in order.
He can have the floor, but I will not go back to what I have said. If he is trying, but no one knows what he was bringing here, but if he is trying to bring a debate, it will not take place.
I will not even try to challenge your decision, Honourable Speaker. I was just informing you after making groundwork that the head of state summit have been postponed. So the Council of Ministers should be told to be here. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. But you are challenging.
No, the ministers, they are meeting. Their meeting has not been postponed. So they are meeting in Nairobi, I think from today or from tomorrow. So, honourable members, let's proceed. The next was Honourable Maina.
Yes, thank you, Honourable Speaker. Mine is to support the motion by my good friend, Honourable Falhada, and say that, Right Honourable Speaker, just like my good friend and senior, the Honourable Suleiman Shabal was talking of not censoring this space of the digital space. I come from a generation that believes that the way to the future is the digital space, where I can tell you, Right Honourable Speaker, before I decided on my investment opportunities, I went to the social media. I Googled, sought information, did a comparative analysis on the investment portfolios that I need to put my resources. So I'm looking at social media as a space that we as East Africans can use to economically and socially change our societies and our nations and even our region. And as much as we view the social media spaces bringing fundamental changes that we as politicians and people who would call the gatekeepers of our society, even as much as we would feel uncomfortable with the kind of speed that this space is catalyzing our young people, I think it is good that we see it from a positive side of it in terms of social change and economic change. Honorable Speaker, it is said, particularly let me say from the Kenyan experience, that averagely Kenyans spend 8 hours on social media. That is out of 24 hours.
Mr. Speaker,
at that of you.
A motion without notice under the provision of Rule 11, Mr. Speaker.
Rule 11.
Mr. Speaker, our rules provide that we have to debate matters up to 6 hours p.m. And now it is 1 minute to 6, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under the provisions of Rule 11, I move a motion that we decide to extend time up to 30 minutes so that we finish this business, Mr. Speaker.
No, Honorable Ngole, I will not take your motion because the rule says that we do not go to 6 but to 6:30, and we are still in order. Let's proceed. Honorable Maina.
Sorry. So, Honorable Speaker, I think we can use this social media as a driver of social change, but in line with the thoughts. Because I know as this motion was being brought up by the Honorable Falhada, she had her thoughts, which might not be written on the paper. But, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that it is good that we are debating such motions, because I am one keen follower of the European Parliament, and they are very serious about governing and regulating the social media space. In fact, I remember they had even to have a serious negotiation as European Union Commission with the Apple regarding the type of charging system Apple was providing, because they were thinking it was even a threat to their own national securities. So I think in line with what the thoughts and the unwritten reasons as to why this motion is coming on board, it is good that we govern and regulate this space so that we don't find ourselves not having governed and stable partner states. Honorable Speaker, to my estimation, as the chair of regional committee and resolution conflict resolution within the region, my experience is that social media, if you don't govern it, it can bring serious issues, political issues in our region, from my own experience. So I think it is good that we regulate this space so that as much as people are airing their opinions, they can air their opinion with the responsibility. Because it is one thing to have freedom of expression, and it is another to be responsible of what you are saying, so that we can govern our nation responsibly and we can air our views responsibly. So, and I remember I also got an experience with the Nigerian space when Twitter, formerly now currently called X, were trying to riot or to protest. The reason as to why the government of Nigeria was trying to switch off Twitter, now X. The government of Nigeria was very serious and strict and told them, if you want us to continue switching, if you want us to switch on X in our country, bring your offices here. Don't govern Twitter in US. Govern it or create regional offices within the country. So I think even as much as we feel very comfortable having Facebook, Twitter, and the likes, it is good that we are very serious and tell them to create those, to bring those offices here in East African region so that we can also create jobs for these very young people who are talking on social media. They can earn jobs in this country or in this region. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and I rise to support this motion for the interest of creating jobs.
Thank you, Honorable Maina. Now we have, the next is Honorable Dr. Black. Francois, I'm not seeing you here. They didn't take your name. After Honorable Jojo Dongo.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I am standing to say a few things in support of the motion to regulate the responsible use of social media. Right Honorable Speaker, social media has become a serious economy. It influences, it employs people, it also shows direction, it mobilizes people, and a community like a region that has majority of people that are young, we cannot leave social media usage of platform ungoverned or without regulation on how it should be used. Right Honorable Speaker, social media is a very good thing, like very many people have said. But it can also ban the country or the region in a day. We were in an election.
Honorable,
I was an observer, Right Honorable Speaker.
I'm sorry, but our members, our colleagues, look, they're disturbing us from outside. Instead of coming in, they only make noise there. Please tell them to be in order. Proceed.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. A region that is very vibrant, that is people-led and youth-led like our region, Right Honorable Speaker, because of social media, one of our constituencies nearly banned. And if you don't have a law or no regulation in terms of how you can do that, it's very difficult. I know that a lot of our partner states have these laws. For instance, Uganda has the Computer Misuse Act, which many of us have challenged, but I think it is important that we have a regulation and eventually come up with a law. We can, first of all, start by harmonization, get a policy, and the policy will drive testers in terms of getting a law that regulates us in the region. Otherwise, it can be a very good thing, but then you'll be overthrown in less than a minute. I am sure if that particular country hadn't dealt with the question of social media, the country would have burnt down more than it was, than the level that at the time when they switched off social media. Right Honorable Speaker, like I said, this is a big industry. There is no industry that employs many people which does not have regulations. Social media now has become, there are people that have alternative channels which are used as news channels. Everybody is an authority. Whatever they want to say becomes news. There is no editor, there is no chief editor, there is nobody who collects news. Everybody prints that and that's news. For instance, they have said that some leaders have died, you know, and eventually they announce a person dead, even when a person is not dead, and such people go, unaccountable. So, Right Honorable Speaker, I think for me, this motion is very timely for us as a region to have a regulation on how we use social media. A bloc like the European Union has come up with a regulation on how to govern social media, the Digital Use Act. We can come up with something like that. And what are they looking at? They are looking at regulating what goes out to the media. They are looking at the issues of hate speech. They are looking at lies, which can tint your name. For the generations, your name will be tinted, and you have no opportunity for going out to explain yourself, because this thing runs so faster that you have no opportunity to even go and explain yourself. They are using issues of safeguarding our children and the generation that will come. If we don't have a regulation on how to do that, our children will be in position to access every garbage that comes their way because of this platform. I think we'll also have to check on what kind of platform do we allow. If we have committed a crime under cyber crime or within Uganda, I should be in position, when I go to Tanzania, the Republic of Tanzania, I should be in position to be held accountable. If you go to the Republic of Rwanda, you go to the Republic of South Sudan, and everywhere in the region, you should be in position to be held accountable, because we are looking at ourselves as one community, heading in one destiny, deepening and widening and tightening. We cannot run free. And then we think that because it has brought a good thing, it is bringing jobs, therefore we leave it. Right, Honorable Speaker, we can say a lot of things about social media, but I think the spirit is to have a regulation so that you have a right and obligation as well. Because always we talk about rights and what you can get. But most of the time, we do not talk about the obligation that comes with the right. I think this motion is timely for us to have a policy that will give us the obligation side, but as well as the rights. But also, eventually, come up with a real act that will help us in managing and governing this new growing industry that is unstoppable, and we cannot do anything about it apart from finding means to regulate it. Right, Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit and appreciate our colleague Frahada and Seconda for coming up with this motion. I beg to support.
Thank you. Now the last one to contribute is Honorable Francoise. Honorable Odongo has gone. Oh. Oh.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. On the onset, I'd like to congratulate Honorable Farahda for this important motion to regulate social media, but also technologies, because they go hand in hand. Social media has transformed communication across not only East Africa, but also across Africa, enabling civil activism, information sharing, and economic opportunities, with over 44 million users projected, not only like in Nigeria alone by 2025, but also in East Africa you have huge data. However, it's also amplifying challenges like misinformation. We're having a lot of misinformation, hate speech, foreign disinformation campaigns, especially when we talk of the global initiatives, like what is happening between like Russia, Ukraine, US, but also here we have many examples in Africa. So these are examples that we need really to regulate. And I want also, as the mover of the motion that will come very soon, but in the hand of GP Committee, EAC Cultural Heritage Bill. We are talking of culture, of values, of traditions. How are we going to incite our values in social media as we protect our young generation, but also as we also hold ourselves accountable for this? We have challenges in regulating social media. For instance, political securitization, where we can have messages that are giving an information. After that message, another one comes in saying fake news. So these things of fake news, you know, sometimes citizens are confused. Who says the right thing? The data that was there, and then information that fake news. There are many of them. We have content and moderation gaps. For instance, Mr. Speaker, global platforms like Meta and X, this is the former Twitter, struggle with African languages and the context. That's why I'm putting everything in the context of our culture and values. For instance, our young generation, they are talking of Kinyarwanda. You know, YouTube normally regulates like pornography, those things. But you can have, you know, people talking of pornography in words. They don't have pictures. They are talking of those things, like the way they do them, you know, practically. But they are talking. And it's in the local language, how YouTube is going to regulate. So I think we need really regulation under our region, because it's paramount. And then access and equity issues. This is in terms of data cost and management and taxes. They are also impeding on how to really use this properly, because you can just take what you can, what is affordable, when you can have better within the means that are offered by your government. Enforcement barriers. Most platforms are foreign-based. It's a big problem. How, at our level, we can have our own platforms? We have engineers of ICT, but they are there. They are just retrieving, you know, all of these foreign platforms. They can't be innovative, but we know we have a clever, young generation. They are IT-oriented. We can support them by adding some funds to regulate this social media and also technology, so that you can have our own based social media and also technologies for the young generation. The digital divide. But what is good is that you have also some countries that have specific examples of current laws that are emerging. Like in Kenya, they have Computer Misuse and Cyber Crimes Act of 2018, Online Safety Guidelines of May 2025, this year. It's just contemporary, requiring age verification for CSPS Information and Communication Amendment Bill also pending. You know, I think as Eala, we can borrow a leaf, because we already have some countries that have these initiatives. We started this, maybe when Bafrada can proceed with the bill on this, because this is really a serious matter. We need to regulate. Without taking much of this, we have strategies for effective regulations, like assess and prioritize the harms contextually, like I have said, develop balanced legal frameworks like principles-based laws, platforms accountability, anti-disinformation measures, and promote co-regulation and self-governance. This will help to enhance enforcement and education, like you have been advocating earlier. We have to monitor and adapt all these things that are moving around towards a right respecting a digital future, but also protecting our young generation. Currently, I've been seeing babies really eager to pick up the phones of their moms on breastfeeding. You know, they want to read through what the mom is reading through. So I think this is something we have to give very special and due attention, and move on as we change and amend and also correct, you know, the mess that is the social media use. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move and I support Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Francoise. Now, Honorable Falada, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for giving me again the opportunity. I just want to tell the House, Honorable Sadia just told me on my ear that South Sudan has passed the law yesterday of cyber crime and computer misuse. So I congratulate them too. In a nutshell, Mr. Speaker, social media should build communities and not break them. We must choose engagement over outrage. So allow me to appreciate the following members, even though the time was little and limited, members would love to contribute on this timely motion, because as we are all politicians, we pass through, our names have been dragged either in a positive way or in a negative way on all social media platforms. So allow me to appreciate the following members. The seconder of the motion, Honorable Wakili Ngole, Honorable Kadogo, Honorable Shabal, Honorable Amogin, Honorable Maina Karobia, Honorable Seranda Blacks, and lastly, Honorable Francois. Thank you so much. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Falada. This issue of social media is very complicated to me, maybe to elders. What I know is that even my phone, what I am watching on it, I don't know where they come from, who's putting them there. I wish I could meet that guy, that person, and discuss with him, because I have my culture, I have my roots, and what he's sometimes bringing are against my life. So you, who maybe are qualified to engage him, please do it in the way that we keep uniting our people, but also keeping our people accountable. It is very complicated. I do not even know, maybe personally, how to use all of these social media. I don't know, TikTok. Many things. But please help us, help our community, help our region, and we hope that you will be capable to overcome these. We didn't talk about cyber crimes. They talk about cyber crimes. I don't understand. So, honorable members, it is now 6. We're still on time. Honorable Ngole, we are on time. Honorable members, I now put the question that this assembly do resolve to add the Council of Ministers and partner states to develop a regional policy and legal framework for regulating and promoting responsible use of social media platforms. Those in favor say aye. To the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Where is Honorable Ngole, who was bringing the motion? Look, we're in time. So, honorable members, we have to register for these sport disciplines. I have seen some members have already registered, especially women, but I didn't see a good number of men. So please register, and our comrade Dr. Black will be happy. The other thing is that I remind you again that you have a commission meeting with chairs tomorrow at 12. At 12, we'll discuss this matter of payment. Please, if you should come with, if you should come to the meeting after having consulted your chapter, that would help us a lot about this. You know what I mean. So, honorable members, the training is it starts when? pick up 6:30, 5:30, in the training 6. Good. So, honorable members, with this I adjourn this plenary for tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. Thank you.
Tukutane mlangoni.